So the next set of questions come to police, public safety, things of that nature. The first question comes up: would you support plans to increase the number of police officers and their patrolling to ensure that all of the citizens and visitors of Ocean Isle Beach feel safe?
If there is an issue with citizens here feeling safe, then yes, changes would have to be made depending on what the actual answer is to that issue. At the police chief's report, every commissioner's meeting every month, he gives a report that tells how many miles were patrolled, and they run up in the 10,000, 11,000 mile range. So I think patrolling pretty well has Ocean Isle Beach covered, I would think, with that many miles being driven. But again, if citizens don't think they are protected well, if they don't think the coverage is what it should be, then absolutely I'm willing to listen and make whatever changes are needed, because that is the mission of the police department here.
So this one's got a little bit of backstory, followed by the question. During one of the last budget cycles, one of our commissioners proposed using accommodations tax money to help fund the police and the fire departments. At that time, a somewhat similar measure had been defeated at Currituck, North Carolina, had proposed, but it was on appeal in the North Carolina court system. The OIB commissioner proposing the measure had been in contact with the NC School of Government and had been informed the way Currituck had written their ordinances had caused their loss. He had also been informed that OIB had written their ordinances differently, and may be possible that this difference would allow OIB to use the accommodations tax revenue to fund the police and the fire departments. The OIB Board of Commissioners voted to ignore looking into the possibility whether OIB could use accommodations tax funds to fund the police and fire departments. Was this a wise or unwise decision to elect to ignore the pursuit of the idea in regards to using accommodations tax money to help fund the police and fire departments? And please elaborate why.
I'm not going to say wise or unwise, but I think it should have been pursued. I remember sitting through that meeting, and I think our town attorney even specified that there was a difference between the case in Currituck and what we were wanting to do here. And if accommodations tax can be used to pay for part of our fire and police protection, then by all means I think it should be. And I think we should have pursued that, looking into that further.
There is a lot of new developments within town limits and the surrounding area. How do you propose to meet the services needed, such as infrastructure, police and fire, and traffic? What are some ways you propose to manage future growth and development in our town and on the island in order to keep the small town, family-friendly atmosphere our residents, property owners, and visitors desire?
I see that being two different issues, actually. I see managing the growth and supporting infrastructure to handle that growth being one issue. I think the family-friendly feel that I alluded to earlier several times is the way we as residents choose to interact among ourselves. And I see the two being kind of separate. The first part of it being infrastructure. A lot of the growth we see here is not actually within our municipal boundaries. A lot of the growth is under county jurisdiction, not our jurisdiction. Of course, if we grow, build out the island, build out a bit of our ETJ, then yes, we would need to support what part of that we do, which is primarily through our fire department. As far as cultivating a family-friendly environment here or preserving that, that is purely up to us. If it's important enough for us to preserve that we interact with each other in a positive, supportive way, then that will be a part of the way we live here.